Hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is me again, your girl, Felo Rampa, and this is Relocate to Australia with Promise. Of course, it is still your #1 DIY relocation platform. So if you guys are looking for information about how you can relocate to Australia or anywhere else in this world, because trust me, this process is the same everywhere. They just use different terms. I say this all the time. You can do it yourself, especially if you cannot afford an agent and you're in a very sticky situation. You're trying to get out of whatever you are within and you're looking for greener pastures. You can do it yourself, okay? Use the resources that you have, gather everything that you have, and use it to your advantage. Anyways, I did not want to do a long intro. All I just wanted to say is do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do the things that people do when they're here on YouTube, okay? Okay, first thing before we get into it, guys, my hair. When I came to Australia, guys, I realized how much I did not appreciate my cousin touching my hair and me having access to whatever hair salon that I needed. I never was a person that used to go to like hair salons because in my family, my aunt can do hair and my cousins can do hair. And I just feel like I never appreciated them enough. So when I came to Australia, obviously it is rough on your hair. Having African hair in Australia is very rough, trust me guys. So I've tried to figure this thing out for myself. I've been trying to figure it out for my daughters, and I was like, you know what, I've settled it. We are going to have dreadlocks in this house. So if you guys have watched my other videos, you will know that I had an afro, but not anymore. And I'm going to be documenting my hair journey. I'm really loving it, even though my lines are so horrible. My children already have dreadlocks. I think you guys have already seen that by now, but I always upload stories when I do like wash day and all of that. So follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and what else, LinkedIn. Yes, all of those ones. Search for me so that you guys can see all the stories and what I get up to. I'm trying to also create shorts, so I think YouTube is kind of like evolving. There's a lot of things that you can do with YouTube now, so I'm like, hey, I want to try this thing out and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm also going to be doing like shorts just to kind of like gather what I do on my social media so that you guys can kind of like have an idea of what I get up to. Anyways, guys, I have been on YouTube for a year. It has been a year. Yo, guys, to say it has been easy would be a lie. It has been... No, I've had rougher years. Like, this was good rough. Like, it was productive rough. I've had rough years where it's like, oh, rough, kunzim. But there's nothing good coming out of it. So this is like a good rough. Yeah, I think I want to look at it like that. I've had a good rough year. So it was rough. It was hectic. I did not think I would stretch as much as I have stretched. Guys, let me tell you, having a 9 to 5, trying to do this YouTube thing, being a mom, being a parent, it is full on. It is so much. I always feel like I have been called to do this all the time. Every time when I feel like giving up, there will be somebody sending me a message or something like that where it's like, you know what, your channel has helped me. I did not know where to start and you just gave me that place to start. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should go back. And I'm like, okay. And sometimes when there's like a shift in your life, you take a while to adjust. But I think last year was kind of like a preparation into, okay, your life is shifting now. It's shifting into this, and this is what you're growing into. So this past year has just been, my goodness. I know a lot of people are like, hey, what does this girl mean last year? Because we are still in 2021. Me, 2021, I'm already done with it. You guys will catch up at December. I think, to be honest with you guys, I'm very rebellious. Like, I don't conform. I find it very hard to conform. Just because everybody's doing it, I should just follow. No, I always want to do things my way, like the way in which I will feel comfortable and I will feel like this is speaking to me at this point in time. I made a conscious decision that every birthday of mine is going to be a new year. And I'm going to celebrate my life and being here and being present. And I so wish I had this awakening earlier on in my life. I feel like I would have avoided a lot of things, but it is what it is and it is life. But I am so glad, I am so thankful to God and my ancestors that it is happening for me right now. So anyways, you guys, it's been a year of me being on YouTube. Initially when I thought of this, I was like, Promise, because you know how sometimes you have this negative chatter that goes on within your head. I didn't think anything was gonna come out of this, honestly. When I started just a couple of days ago, Facebook reminded me that I started with 9 subscribers, and I was looking at my YouTube channel now, and I'm like, look, Promise, you've got over 2,000 subscribers in just a year. And a lot of people that are on YouTube, especially if you don't have like a social media following, like a large social media following where you've got like thousands and thousands of followers, either on like your most dominant social media platforms, like whether it is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Some people would start by having a large following there and then bring it over to YouTube, or vice versa, like have a large following on YouTube and take it to their social media. For me, I do not have the privilege of both. So I don't have like a large following on any of my social media. I'm just like a normal regular person. So I did not think that my YouTube channel would actually reach as many people as it did. And throughout the year, I've met very amazing people. I've learned so many stories about people who have also relocated, who are now in the US, who are in Canada, who are in other international countries, and they're doing great. So I feel like there's just been a lot of growth also for me in this channel, because I've learned a lot about myself, and this space has also become like a very reflective moment for me. I'm a person who loves reflecting. If you know, you know. I love to reflect on everything and everything that I do, because I feel like it centers me, like it reminds me of who I am and what is going on within me like right now, and what I need to do to like move forward. So kind of like closing off my year, like my 27th year, I say it's like my last year, 27th year, closing it off for me felt like, oh my god, it was rough. So it was within my 27th year where this big major shift happened. And you know, these things, you never really plan for them, and you never really think, or you know, or these things are gonna happen to you one day. Like, you're a human being, you are not immune to death, but you always kind of like in your head, you tell yourself that God is going to give you enough time. God and your ancestors are going to give you enough time for you to fulfill whatever. Because I had so many things that I wanted to do for my grandmother, and I felt like I had done some of them, but the biggest one that I wanted to do, I wanted to take her to Durban so that she can be in the ocean. But anyway, that did not happen. So I had to kind of like deal with it and process it. Or, you know, I promise it's not gonna happen, and it's not your fault, and it's okay. And it's okay for you to hurt and to grieve, because one thing that I've learned about grief is that it's just love. It's misplaced love. It is love. It is great intention. And when it is used correctly, and when it is recognized for what it is, you are able to resolve it quickly for yourself. So for me, grief was love. And it was love that I knew I needed to direct it back to my grandmother and say, I loved you and I would have loved this for you, but it's not going to happen, and it's okay. Instead, what I will do, I'll take that energy and I'll transform it into something else where I can still have that connection and that communication with you. And I told myself one day when I then reunite with my ancestors, we'll have that conversation about the ocean. I'm like, dude, I want to take you to Durban and you left me. You know, guys, after my grandmother's passing, I was in so much pain. It was so painful. I've never experienced such pain in my life. And the pain was like so much in my head, because this is the thing. Like, when you're an immigrant and there's somebody who passes away back home, and there's somebody who passes away back home, and you are not there to be in the moment to see it happening, like see everything happening, the funeral, you literally live in your head. So the funeral is happening in your head. The death is happening in your head. Like, there's nothing, like I did not see my grandmother dead. To me, she's alive. That's the last image I saw of her. She was alive. So now she has to die in my head. So that thing is very difficult. So I got to a space where I was like, this processing is too much. Because the other thing is that life does not allow you to mourn like long enough. Like, it's like, yeah, cry for 2 days and then go back to work, go back to being a mom, go back to this, you know. There's no time. You need to move on. You need to process it quickly. So for me, I felt like the only way I was for me at that time, and I was not aware of it until I came out of it, where I was like, wait, I had become numb. I stopped feeling. Like, I literally stopped. I stopped because my brain had gone into that safety mode of like, hey, now we are on survival mode, bruh. You need to shut off the system. The system needs to shut down for you to be okay. So that's what I did. Like, I became numb. I think it was after a month of my grandmother's passing, like when it was like 1 month, something said, Chlorelo, let go. Holukile, let go. Like, let it go, Chlorelo. It's fine. And I remember that day, I cried. Like, I cried like it was the first time I was hearing that my grandmother had passed. And it was then where I prayed and I said, God, you know what? It's okay. Let your will be done. It's fine. Because before then, the only time I would feel something, or I would fluctuate from being numb to hurt, being numb to hurt. And once I got to like my maximum threshold for the pain, I went straight into numbness. So I knew what I was not dealing and I was not coping well. And I had to sit myself down. Me, I'm a very good girl at sitting down. I love to sit myself down. I'm like, what's wrong? You are not yourself, man. I was like, you know what? It is painful. I'm hurting. And I was like, what do you think is gonna make you feel better? I was like, if I just connect to this person, if I just connect to her. And I always felt within me that, you know, my grandmother was a very spiritual person. Like, she was this person, Mama Josie. She believed in ancestors. She believed in God. She used to pray. She taught us how to then. She also taught us how to speak to our ancestors. So I was like, you know what? Same thing she taught me, I'm going to do. And that's what I did. And I felt like, you know what? I have processed this. So on my birthday is on the 22nd. My grandmother died on the 22nd. Like, this woman was very conniving. So she died on the 22nd. My birthday is on the 22nd. So on the 22nd of October, it would have marked exactly 3 months of her passing. And I remember when I was thinking about going into my birthday, I started getting scared again. I was like, oh my God, because I was freaking out about spending my first birthday without my grandmother. And somehow I was going through my phone and I came across this video that I took last year. So on the video, because I'm so stupid with phones, I thought I had taken a video recording of the call. So it was on my birthday and I had called her, and then that's what we usually do. Like, when we're not together, she would sing for me and we'd catch up and all of that. So it was about a 15-16 minutes call, and I did record it, but it does not have an audio. So I was just going through my phone. I was deleting some files and all of that. And it was in that moment where I saw that video and I realized that I did not record the voice. However, I remembered the conversation. I sat down and I searched for it in my head. I was like, what did we say? What did we do? Somehow she came alive in my head, where she became so real. And for me, something told me this would have been your last birthday with her. And God made it possible that you recorded that moment, even though you don't have the audio, but you do have that moment and you have captured that moment. So for me, that was the greatest gift from God, and was the greatest gift from my grandmother, and also the greatest gift from myself, that I had gifted myself that moment for me to remember. I remember I was having a conversation with my aunt, and my aunt was saying to me, you know, Mama's passing, because it's her mom. She's like, Mama's passing feels like this huge tree had fallen. And you know, the conversation was very sad, to say, oh my God, this tree has fallen. Now it's almost like we feel the wind, the rain, we're not sheltered anymore. But for me, somehow I sat down, I was like, no, it doesn't feel like a great tree has fallen. For me, it feels like everything has just come full circle. And the reason why I say that is because my grandmother came and she has lived, and now she's gone back to the soil. So now she's gone back to the soil. We've buried her. She's gone back to the ground. Every time I walk on the ground and my feet touch the ground, I touch and I connect with her. Every time I dance, I'm dancing with her. She's gone back to the ground. She's gone back to the Creator. She's gone back. She has served her purpose. For the first time in my life, everything just came together. I realized that my mother is the roots. She's the roots. My grandmother's soil was the womb that carried the seed that was my mother. And she became the roots. She became the tree. She became the fruit, right? And my grandmother continues to be the ground that carries my mother's roots. And I am the tree. And my children are the fruit. And that's where I got to understand, oh, generational, what, this is what you're talking about. Honestly. You know, as much as death is a tragedy, sometimes death is a gift. And for me, my grandmother's passing had become that gift, where I learned that there's a transition that is occurring right now in my life, and this is it. On the 22nd of October would have been 3 months of my grandmother passing. I'm such a numbers person. So I thought about it and I was like, oh my God, Chloe was born on the 3rd of March. She was born on the 3rd of the 3rd month. And every time when I pray, there's always something that's calling me to 3:33. I always want to pray at 3:33. I don't know. There's always something that's calling me to pray at 3:33. This was even way before my grandmother's passing. I would set an alarm for 3 so that I can get ready to pray at 3:33. And even if I'm at work and it's 3:33, I missed that prayer, I'm just going to make a quick one and be like, thank you, God, I'm present. Thank you, I'm alive. And that's it. Because I've always been called to pray at that time and I never understood. And it was on that day where I sat down and I was like, oh my God, it's going to be 3 months of my grandmother's passing. My youngest child was born on the 3rd of the 3rd. The time to pray. And the other weird thing is that I named Kolo Zion. I always felt like she was my Mount Zion. I was like, she's my Mount Zion, this one. This child is the one that's going to bring me closer to God. She's the one that's going to carry me, and I'm going to know myself through this child. I knew. So everything had just aligned. Everything had just come full circle. And I think that is how I processed everything. And that's when my healing truly began, to say, you know what? Everything has come full circle. Whatever that is going on right now, it is not a mistake. It is God's plan. And you need to just continue with this thing called life. One of my main prayer for my birthday, I set myself down. I set God down. I set me down. We were on a table consulting each other. I was like, Lalilani, guys, listen. The only thing I pray for, the only thing I pray for is wisdom and knowledge. And not only that, but give me the strength. Give me the strength to carry it and to live it in order for me to fulfill my purpose, whatever the purpose is. Amen. 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 That was my prayer. That's it. Just give me the knowledge and the wisdom. Nje. All the time. And on days where I need it the most, please let it be louder. But I always pray for wisdom and knowledge, but not only that, the strength to carry it. The strength to carry it, to be responsible with it, and to use it to fulfill my purpose. That's it. I want to shout out everybody that has sent me a birthday message, whether in my inboxes, whether on my Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Thank you so much, guys, for celebrating the day with me. Michaela went all out. She got books for me. She knows I'm a plant mom, so she got me like plant books. George also got me flowers and a cake. Thank you so much for that. I also got a succulent from my friend Bianca, and she also wrote a very lovely card for me. So thank you so much for that. It was very nice getting flowers. I felt like, you know what? I should always get flowers. It's very good getting flowers when you're still alive. Imagine now you are dead, they're putting flowers on top of you. They're putting flowers on top of you, and when you're alive, they're not giving nothing. Don't do that. So you must give people flowers. Give people flowers, and if people are not gifting you flowers, buy them yourself. Ne? Don't wait. It's a necessity. It is a necessity to have flowers in your house okoko every day. And if you cannot afford to have flowers every day in your house, get a couple of plants. They will save you money. Yes, and again, October is mental health month. So I'm hoping that you guys were able to take care of your mental health. For me, I feel like it's not only when it's October when we are aware of it, but it should be a constant and regular thing. So always keep yourself in check. Check your friends. But most important, you must wear. Not check yourself first before. You must check yourself and make sure that you're okay and you sleep well at night. If you're unable to sleep at night, there's something wrong. So sit down with yourself and consult yourself. There's no one who's going to consult you better than you, because you reside with you. You live with you. You sleep with you. When you die with you. So you need to be okay with spending time with you and getting to know you better. Anyways, guys, bye-bye. That was my reflection for my birthday. It's been a year. Thank you for traveling this journey with me. Thank you for supporting me through it. As a king, I'll never finish. Thank you. Thank you to my husband for always supporting me. He always says I don't thank him. Thank you. It has been 10 years of us being together. I always tell him, like, dude, imagine it's been 10 years. Can you believe it? We always joke about it. He has always believed in me. He's always supported my dreams all the time. So thank you so much for always supporting them and always being there for me and the girls. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I'll see you again next week. As I said the previous week, I was going to come back with the difference between private and government school. I'll do that this coming week, okay? Hang in there. Anyways, bye-bye, guys. I'll see you again next week.